welcome back to another edition of the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast. We are your hosts. He's the Stallion. I am the Enforcer. And this week, we are back with the NXT In Your House IYH. I don't know what number it is. I think maybe 2. Predictions, previews, predictions, previews, thoughts, opinions, all kind of fuckery like that. Before we get into the show, we got to thank BT from last week, man. Having BT on from the Marked Out Wrestling podcast, the voice of the ring of Global Syndicate Wrestling of GSW. We really appreciate having him on last week. Got a chance to talk about the WWE releases and great hairstyle, Joe. Just all around great guy.
Just, really firing on all cylinders, BT. So, we definitely appreciate him being on. And it just so happened that was the day that there were a number of WWE releases. So it was a big news day, that particular day last week. And he was definitely great to have on to discuss a lot of the different, folks that got released and the options of where they might go. And it was a great discussion.
Nothing the guy can't do, really. I mean, well, you know what he can't do? He couldn't beat me at Heinous Halloween 2002. So, look in the EHW archives of Extreme Hardcore Wrestling. You'll find the Pickle took a W back then. And much like Tommy Dreamer, I didn't win a lot. I just put other people over. So, but regardless, let's get into this week's show, Joe. NXT In Your House, like a couple hours ago, there was a Triple H media call. Did you see any highlights of that call?
That's weird. I wasn't invited to that one. I don't know.
You know who does invite us to the media calls, though?
AEW.
Tony Khan. TK, my boy.
Yeah,
Tony.
People wonder why everyone prefers AEW, and there you go. They're just a lot more inviting. But no, I did not hear any notes from the Triple H media call. Did you get anything out of that you'd like to share with us before we get into the predictions?
I did not participate, as per, Triple H didn't invite us, but apparently Triple H sounded like a giant penis on this call. A couple of comments off top, because Mickie James had said at the NWA pay-per-view she wanted all the best women in the world to be on the show, and then Triple H said something along the lines of, all of the best women wrestlers in the world wrestle in the WWE, and if they don't, that's where they want to be, was one of them. NXT, if you don't like the product, don't watch it. There were a couple of other things. He came across very sassy in this interview. So I wonder what the cause for it was. There were a couple of other lines that I can't think off the top of my head. But he's never usually like that. He's usually a lot more down to earth and things of that nature. And in this call, he wasn't like that. So
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess I understand the first comment as far as him probably trying to put his own women's wrestlers over, but that probably would not have been the way that I went. But then as far as if you don't like the product, don't watch it. I mean, I think there's a good amount of people that have already made that decision. So they could continue to heed that advice if they would like, in terms of not watching NXT.
The other one was the fans ruin it for themselves by wanting to know everything. And they ruin they ruin wrestling for themselves.
That sounds like a line straight out of the Bruce Pritchard playbook, if you ask me.
Oh, mercy. That is all you have to do. And Triple H shit on Meltzer in there too. So it's kind of like Triple H is talking, but Bruce Pritchard's right behind him. So yeah, man, I was surprised. Triple H is usually like a lot cooler. And just like not Cody Rhodes friendly cool, because Triple H is more of like the businessman and Cody isn't. But in these calls, it was a different side of Trips that I think we haven't seen before since the McMahon Helmsley administration, actually.
Yeah, well, tough day. Maybe he was forced to sit in a room and watch the last segment of Raw over and over again for the last couple of days. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know what's going on over there at Titan Towers, as they say.
We make movies, pal. We're making movies. But let's get to the movie that we're making this Saturday. As I would like to call it, Waterworld
Sunday, June 13th at the Performance Center, or the CWC, I believe it is.
Cruiserweight Classic. It's at the Cruiserweight Classic.
It's the one. And there are 5 matches on the card for TakeOver In Your House. I think there will also be an appearance by Todd Pettengill. I'm not sure. I know Doc Hendricks was on NXT television this past week, so You never know what's going to happen. Maybe Scott and Todd in the morning will be broadcasting directly from Orlando, Florida. We don't know. But there are 5 matches on the card, and let's start with the winner-take-all 6-man tag team match. This is for both the NXT North American Championship and the NXT Tag Team Championship. So we have Bronson Reed, North American Champion, teaming with MSK, who are the Tag Team Champions, and they are taking on Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza.
Legado del Fantasma, my Spanish is a little rusty. Is that Legend of the Ghost?
I don't speak Espanol, so I don't know. That sounds right, though.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool name now that I think about it. Listen, I mean, Bronson Reed just won the title, and MSK just won the title. I don't know what you like. That's weird. The whole. You know what? No, I'm saying there's an upset. The Legend of the Ghost of the Phantasm, if you will. I'm gonna say the LOG. That's what I'm gonna call them. The LOG. I think they're a real faction. They're a real team. They're a real trios team. They shouldn't be losing to Bronson Arroyo and MSK
and his dreadlocks. Yeah, no, that's fair. I think I'm gonna go with Bronson Reed and MSK here because, like you said, they just won the titles. I think the whole idea of this match, just looking at it on paper, is that it should be there to have a quality match, right? The MSK and versus Wilde and Mendoza was a good match, and it seems like Santos Escobar has been trying to mix it up with Bronson Reed. I think the right thing to do is to keep the titles on Bronson Reed and MSK. So I'm going to go with the baby faces in this match. Next up, we have a singles match in the women's division. It is Mercedes Martinez versus Xia Li. I think this is Xia Li's first takeover match ever in NXT.
Mercedes Martinez is there to put on a good match and be a good win for Xia Li. So Xia Li and the ghosts of whatever is going on there get the Duke here. They get the W.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Xia Li as well. I think they put a lot behind that story and that gimmick that she's got going on with Boa and I don't know how to pronounce it. Mei Young. I don't know. But as you said, Mercedes Martinez has kind of had a weird year because she was in NXT, went up to the main roster as part of Retribution for like a week, and then went back down to NXT. Yes, and has been back there for a couple months. But I do agree with what you said, that she was really there to probably get good matches out of people there as a veteran women's wrestler. There's some rumors that she may be aligned with Eva Marie when Eva Marie debuts on the main roster sometime soon. So I don't know if that's true, but either way, I'm going to go with Xia Li to take this one. Next up, we have a ladder match for the $1 Million Championship. Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight.
To the moon. Sorry.
Seems like Cameron Grimes is a little bit more on the babyface side of things in this feud, at least. These two are vying over the endorsement of the $1 Million Man to carry on the $1 Million legacy. So this is apparently a ladder match for the $1 Million Championship. Do you have a lean one way or the other here? Where do you think this one's going to go? Who's going to wind up with this title?
I could see LA Knight having better chemistry with Ted DiBiase. So I'm going to go with Ted DiBiase here. Plus, it does seem like Cameron Grimes. Who would have thought a guy that bought GameStop stock went from a hillbilly redneck to a millionaire and then rubbed it in the face of everybody and told them how poor they are would be the baby face, Joe.
Yeah.
I don't really get it. LA Knight is doing a much better job now. I don't want to say he's doing a much better job, but his character's coming across much more effectively than he was when he first joined NXT. I feel like there was like a disconnect, and maybe he had some jitters, if you will, but his promos now are top notch. I know you're a big LA Knight guy, so I'm going to say LA Knight gets the win, and he gets the services of $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, I'm a big LA Knight fan, and I would love to see him win this match. I think his act will get over even better when there are more fans back in the arena for NXT. I don't know if that's still going to happen along the same lines as the main roster in July or August, whatever it is. But
they're actually going to have more fans. Like, just for part of the call was they're going to have some fans in attendance this weekend.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah. I mean, so I think he's going to get over real well, even more when the fans come back. And I'm torn on this again because they started with Cameron Grimes kind of being anti-DiBiase, and now he wants the endorsement of DiBiase, and the LA Knight thing kind of came out of nowhere. But I think they've done a decent job at least making this feel important. I'm going to go with Cameron Grimes. I think the reason that he's turned more babyface is because the fans are so into his act and what he's able to do that he's almost kind of become a fan favorite in such a way. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Cameron Grimes, but I could see this one going either way. But that'll be my official pick. Next, we have a singles match for the NXT Women's Championship. So we have Raquel Gonzalez defending against Ember Moon.
Very similar to the Mercedes Martinez thing. I think Ember Moon is there to be a good opponent for Raquel Gonzalez and to make her look good. They sold the what's your lunar eclipse gimmick? The total eclipse of the heart, whatever it is, her finisher. Last week's show pretty strongly. So she got she got the better of Raquel during the week. So you know what that means in the world of the WWE and the NXT. Raquel wins clean in the center of the ring on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. This is Raquel's, I believe this is her first takeover title defense. And, Ember Moon is in this spot. I believe Shotzi Blackheart is injured. So they kind of split off Ember Moon for a little bit here into a singles feud. She's an NXT veteran. She's been there for several years. Well, went to the main roster, but has come back, of course. But she was there for a while. Got some good run with the title. So I think this is just a spot for Gonzalez to get a win over an established women's wrestler in NXT and continue on with her title reign. So I'm also going to go with Raquel Gonzalez. And then finally, we have the main event. It is a fatal five-way for the NXT Championship. So we have Karrion Kross, who is the NXT champion, defending against Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, and that's it. So I think that's five. I didn't really count. So yeah, that's the fatal five-way. This is an interesting one because, Kross he took care of Finn Balor, won the title and won the rematch. Then there was a three-way match between O'Reilly, Gargano, and Dunne to determine the number one contender, which was interrupted by Adam Cole. And then they ended up just having a segment where Karrion Kross was like, just give me all of it at once. And then the subsequent promos with Karrion Kross after that seemed to be a lot of the other guys kind of shitting on his wrestling ability, saying he was overrated and,
Really?
something like that, like he's not the greatest in the ring or whatever. So I don't know if that's kind of like subtle digs or whatever, but that was kind of interesting.
Was that Gargano?
Cole said it and Gargano said it in different promos, I think, in the last 2 weeks of NXT. I heard things that I was kind of like, it almost seems like they're subtly burying him because his matches are average at best and his promos are not very good. And I noticed even this past week, I think it was this past week, he came out to the ring and he didn't even do his full super fancy entrance. He just walked out with Scarlett and all this stuff. So I don't know if they're just kind of down on him or what. And that's what makes me wonder if they're going to change the title here or not. Do you have a feel on who you think is the favorite to walk away as the champion in this match?
Can I be honest with you, Joe?
I would expect you to be 100% honest with me and the entire viewing audience of this podcast, 32 people. So.
Okay, here's the thing. I have not watched all of NXT in quite some time. And I definitely haven't watched all of NXT since Karrion Kross has been champion. I don't love Karrion Kross as a performer. I don't love Karrion Kross as a promo. He's actually pretty bad. NXT's numbers are circling the drain. Pretty rough. And I think the time has come to realize Karrion Kross might not be that guy for the NXT audience. Maybe Karrion Kross is that guy for the Raw audience or the SmackDown audience because of his look, because when you have Lady Scarlett doing her gimmick with 10,000 people there, completely different story. For NXT, it's a workers show, it's a professional wrestling show, and any of the other four guys mentioned in this match are a better fit as NXT champion. That being said, I think it will be time to take the title off of Karrion Kross, but I have no fucking idea who they're going to put the title on. So, shot in the dark, if Gargano, Dune, Cole, Kyle.
Cool Kyle. Yeah.
Cool Kyle. The one-man gang. The skinny version of the one-man gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
OMG.
Peter Dunne. Whatever. Peter Dune. I don't think... I love Kyle O'Reilly. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. I don't know if he has the promo ability to carry that. Adam Cole does, but how many times can you go back to Adam? Gargano, the Gargano way is good. I talk myself out of it. I changed my pick. I'm going Johnny Gargano. I think Johnny Gargano is Mr. NXT. He's been the best thing in NXT, and there's one guy that's going to carry it promo-wise and get people invested. I think it's going to be Johnny. So I'm going Johnny Wrestling. Plus Austin Theory. Let's do it. Let's walk that way. Right? So we're done.
That is fair, yes. And for all the reasons that you said with Karrion Kross was exactly what I was thinking, right? So the viewership of the show has not been great since he's been the champion on Tuesdays. And I do think that with the rumors of people from the main roster coming down to scout talent in NXT, that he's a guy that translates better on the main roster. And this match is a way to get the title off of him without him having to take a defeat or a pinfall. So I do think he's going to drop the title here. And I'm going to say they're going to go back to Adam Cole. And I think it's because of all the reasons like you were saying, right? He can do the promos. He can do the in-ring. I actually thought about it as I was trying to figure out who my prediction was going to be. And he hasn't been champion for about a year. It was last summer that he lost to Keith Lee. And then Keith Lee dropped it to Karrion Kross. It's been almost a year, I think, since he lost the title. So I think they're going to put it back on him because he's a very central figure for them, and I think he's going to be important for ratings, and he can go on to have matches with guys like O'Reilly further, since O'Reilly has already beaten him in their last one-on-one match, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to go officially with our man Adam Cole to win back the NXT title on Sunday night.
Are you excited for this show, Joe?
I think I'm as excited for this show as I've been for any of the other takeovers that have taken place during the pandemic. I think the 6-man tag match will be good. I think the women's matches will be solid. And I think the ladder match can go either way. But the main event should be very good. And I legitimately don't know who's going to win. So that has my interest in for Sunday night. So I think, it's not going to be that much different. It's not like the classic takeovers where there was great work rate up and down the card in front of like these 10, 12,000 people crowds, but I think it's going to be solid for what it is.
Remember that we were there in Brooklyn, we get to see it live.
Yeah,
something about NXT has just felt so flat to me, and it's unfortunate because it used to be one of my favorite shows to watch. I don't know if it's the lack of a crowd, it could be, but it just hasn't had that I have to turn into it. Like I know you read the results, you don't necessarily watch the shows live anymore like you used to, right? It's just it needs something, and I know they mentioned there's going to be another draft coming up, another WWE draft, I think in August, maybe late July, early August. So that's why I'm saying Karrion Kross might be the guy to go to the main roster. He will do so much better there. He doesn't have to worry about actually having wrestling matches. But I will say I'm excited for the main event. I don't like the 5 and the 6 guy matches though. I just gets a little convoluted. It's going to be a spot fest, but that's kind of what NXT takeovers are, either 67-minute matches or 44 guy flying ladder spot matches kind of thing. So I'm going to watch it. But to your point, not knowing who's going to win the main event, that will add some intrigue. I'm not super stoked on this show, but I'm here to see who the new champion is. Hopefully there will be one come Monday morning.
So we'll find out Sunday night on the Peacock Network. for this show.
Please, man. Will Shingo be on the card?
I didn't see him listed, but I will go back and listen to that Triple H media call and see if anything came up in conversation.
Your new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. God, Joe, how good was that match? If actually, you know what? No, don't say a word, because I'm going to tell the listeners and the viewers here. If you want to read the Stallions, okay, I see that way, yeah, the Stallions' thoughts on that match, go to blogofdoom.com, type in Dominion in the search, and you see the Stallions' amazing, unbiased recap that he does of all New Japan shows. It was a great read. Thank you for putting your time and effort into it, unlike some of the other schmucks, not on Blog of Doom, on other sites. 411 Mania. An educated opinion of a guy that likes professional wrestling. I personally, Joe, I don't know what Scott Keith's paying you, but what would your going rate be to review Raw every week?
To review Raw every week?
All 3 hours.
I don't. Hang on. We got a visitor.
My man.
Got a visitor in the background. I don't know. It'd probably have to be. Let's see. What is my time worth per hour? What's minimum wage? Like $6 still? Is that what it is? That's what we made at Party City, right? Like $5.50. Probably $5.50 an hour for 3 hours. So what does that come to? Like $16.50. I would need $16.50 to review Raw every week. That's what.
That's like a Starbucks frap with a shot of espresso.
There you go. Which I would also need to get through the show.
Oh my God, it tied in so fucking well. God, this guy's the best. Well, like I said, make sure you check out Joe's reviews and write-ups at Blog of Doom. Scott Keith's great website. They have so many cool things over there. And also follow us, man, at All Night Long WP on your Twitter, on your Instagram, on your social feeds. Wrestling Headlines on YouTube is where you can find all of our shows posted every single week. Those guys, I do want to put over Wrestling Headlines. They're getting a little long in the tooth here, but they're not like Ringside News where they just have bullshit clickbait titles. Wrestling Headlines is really good stuff. So follow along the Wrestling Headlines. And on top of that, go to Apple Podcasts, rate, review, subscribe, give us the old 5-star Meltzer driver. We appreciate that. It makes us money. I'm kidding. It doesn't make us any money. It's for up here, right? It's for here. It's for the heart, Joe. That's where you can find us. Find us in the heart. Find us at All Night Long WP everywhere you social media. That's it for another edition of the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast. We are your hosts. He's the Stallion. I am the Enforcer, and we're tapping out.